With the two large wheels at the back, the FashionMaster is very easy to manoeuvre around the home, and to use is very simple. You lift the lever like so, and the wheels will pop out. You lift the board then to hear two reassuring clicks. And then you've got two control knobs either side, depending if you're left or right-handed, and you go anti-clockwise to adjust the height of the FashionMaster. Now, because it's a steam generator, it takes 2.5 litres of water in this removable tank. You simply take the top off, fill up, pop it back on, put it back in the machine, and from 5 minutes, the FashionMaster will then be ready to use. Your iron is stored in this heat-proof container here. Now, the iron can also be stored in here hot. You also have in here a cable tidy. This just pushes into this grommet inside the machine here. You then put the iron onto its little heat-proof table. You then push the rubber grommet of the cable onto the cable tidy. And then this is your water and your electricity controls here for the FashionMaster, and they simply plug in down here. Now, your electrical cables are also stored at the bottom of the machine in there. And that's your FashionMaster then ready to go. Now, to switch on your FashionMaster is really easy. All you do is you press this button here, then wait 5 minutes. This light will then ignite. That then tells you that you're ready to steam. Now, the FashionMaster, if you run out of water, what it'll also do is this little light will ignite, and I can actually make the FashionMaster think it's run out of water by removing the water tank. As you can see there, the lights come on. I then fill up with my tank with fresh water, pop it back in, and it goes out and the steamer's ready to go again. So there's no downtime if you have to fill the machine up with fresh water. Now, you actually have here a blast of 4 bar of steam. Now, this will give you, through this honeycomb design sole plate, intense steam coverage through the whole of the base of the plate. And this is unique to Miele. And what you also have here is you have the table. Now, the noise that you can hear at the moment are the two large fans that draw the steam through the table, but also the table heats at the same time as well. So you have heat from the bottom, you have heat from the iron, and the steam in between. So all those really, really tough creases in cotton and linen will melt away quite easily when you use the FashionMaster. Now, let's say you want to do something more delicate, you can do that as well. Now, FashionMaster also comes with this non-stick plate. Now, this literally connects to the bottom of the iron like so. Now, anything underneath the iron is protected from the heat. Now, what I can also do, if let's say I want to do a silk, it's absolutely fine. If I want to do a cashmere jumper, what I can do is this. I then switch the fans in the table. Now, instead of bringing the air through, by pushing the steam button, you'll see there's a cushion of air now lifting the top of the table. And what that's now going to do, it's going to cool, let's say it's wool, cool the wool, but also it's going to lift the fibres at the same time, so reinvigorating the fibres of your fabrics. And that's one of the great things with FashionMaster. It protects, but also it reinvigorates your clothes. Now, let's go and do some ironing. So I've got my laundry basket full of ironing. So let's go on with our cotton shirt first of all. Now, with any kind of cotton or even with a heavy linen, some of the smaller creases are very, very difficult to get out. But what we're going to do here, I apply my garment to the FashionMaster table. The FashionMaster table has also been edged, so it's perfect to go around really, really awkward edges. Now I go on with the iron, I press the steam. Now instantly the steam starts to go through. The table is also heating up at the same time. So as I'm doing this, I'm ironing not just the one side of this part of the shirt, but also the other side. The steam is being pulled through by those large fans underneath, and they're allowing the transfer of steam to go through effortlessly to make this a very easy job to do. Now, let's say we want to do two sides of a garment, we can do that as well. So double-sided, let's say we want to do the sleeve of the shirt here. We pop that on the table like so. As you can see, we've got the crease running all the way through. I then go on with the steam. And again, as soon as that steam switch is pressed, what happens is that the table starts to heat. The actual fans start to draw through all that moisture, and then allowing me to have not only a fantastic job at the top of the garment, as you can see here, but also it's done a fantastic job on the other side. So double-sided ironing. But I can do better than that, because we can actually do a dry clean only fabric. Now, in the past, I've actually done this, I've taken my dry clean only trousers to the dry cleaners purely because they just needed to have the creases removed. Now, as you can see here, we've got a pretty severe crease running all the way through this trouser here. I apply it to the board. Now, what you don't want to do, you want to shine the fabric. So we're going to apply the actual non-stick shoe. I then go directly onto the fabric. Now, the table's going to heat up again. Here we have a situation where the steam is being pulled through. We have a sandwich of heat and steam running through this garment. This allows me to do this. I've actually gone through 1, 2, 3, 4 layers at the same time. Now, the other thing I can do, if you wanted to do something like a transfer design t-shirt like this one here. Now, I've actually in my younger years melted quite a few of these to the base of irons, but we can go directly on with the steam and it's not going to damage that logo and it's not going to damage the jewels that are also on the surface of this actual t-shirt in any way at all. And also I'm actually going through both sides of the t-shirt at the same time because again the board is heating as well as the iron. Now let me show you how this works with a balloon. If I get my balloon like so, I can actually go directly on to the balloon with the heat and it won't burst the balloon in any way. Now the reason for that is that with a normal iron it grabs the rubber of the graphic design of the t-shirt and it melts it. But with FashionMaster it doesn't. It doesn't have the grab, so it protects even the most delicate things like a balloon. Let's do something else though. Let's say we want to do a silk and a cashmere. Now with silk and cashmere, silk is a fantastic material, but you do need to iron it to get the creases out, but it reacts badly with actual heat. But the FashionMaster can help you here as well, because what it can do, you go directly on. Now I haven't changed the setting of the iron at all. I go directly on with the steam. Look how quickly it actually takes the creases out of that garment. But also, because I've got that non-stick plate, I can actually leave that directly on the silk and it won't burn it. But also the two large fans underneath are vacuuming the silk panel to the surface. So if I wanted to go right to the end of a garment, and it could be a scarf like this one, or it could be you're doing something like a shirt, the fans also hold that in place as well. Now, great thing is cashmere jumpers. Now, I've never really, in my past, ironed a jumper before because it flattens down the fibres of the fabric. But what we do here, we apply it to the board, then again I use the non-stick plate, I go directly on, but this time I'm turning those fans around and I'm going to go on with the steam and you'll see the top of the table starts to lift. Now, that's doing two things for me. It's cooling the wool so the wool won't lose its shape, but also it's lifting the fibres of the wool at the same time so it doesn't lose its softness. So Miele can look after the tough linens, the tough creases, but also it can do delicates like wool, cashmeres and silks as well. Now, when we've actually finished our ironing, we can actually also turn FashionMaster into a garment steamer. And this is the accessory which I've actually connected into the same place that we connected the iron to earlier. And to use it's really simple. All we do, we get our jacket and then we steam over. There's 4 bar of steam power. It'll drop all the creases out of your jackets, your dry clean only fabrics, also your silks and your delicate clothing as well. And we have a little brush on here as well that collects any bits of lint or hair that may be on your jackets and clothes. Okay, so we finished our ironing. Let me show you how easy it is to store FashionMaster away. We place our hot iron inside this storage box. We then unplug the connector. We then gather all the cable and literally we just loop it inside the box like so. And then we just close the lid. Your electrical cable is stored in there, and I'll show you how easy it is to store the table away. You've actually got your 2 controls either side if you're left or right handed. We're going to go anti-clockwise and I'm going to push the table down to its lowest setting, and then I'm going to go clockwise to release the locking mechanism, and then we click the table into lock, we push the wheels in, and the 2 large wheels at the back enable me then to manoeuvre the table to my utility room or storage area. Now, the Miele FashionMaster is easy to use. It protects and gives your clothes that professional finish. An ironing system from Miele that has been designed and tested to give you up to 20 years of domestic use.